Welcome back to Stanford football, as today we host USC, a renewed rivalry as we are rebuilding the Pac-12, and it's rebuilding our own offense that we're going to try to do today. After pulling off a narrow win overtime in week 0, we then drop the next 3 games, each of them getting worse and worse. So to try to stop the slide, Coach Barrington is pulling the red shirt on true freshman Chad Lloyd, a 4-star recruit scrambler archetype, but he comes in with 91 throw power. That is second on the team, and he has some accuracies. Short gonna be his best, but he can throw on the run, and he's pretty solid under pressure. That will grow a little bit throughout his time, but probably not all too much. Additionally, he's shaking up the offensive line. Green stays starting at left tackle. We gotta believe the 89 will play like it. At left guard, redshirt freshman Eugene Brooks gets the start at center. We're giving it to Baklenko. You will see that Mazza not here. We'll talk about that in a second. Right guard, Anderson moves from left guard to right guard to help out Simmons, starting over at right tackle. As for Mazza, we gave him 4 games, and he did not prove that he should be out there, so he is getting redshirted. Additionally, we are also putting the red shirt on true freshman Taron Dawkins, the fullback. We are switching to a pistol offense, which is leading way to a little bit of some fullback play as well for James Bartow. With these changes, hopefully we'll see ourselves start to fix some of these bad grades, most definitely around our head coach in Barrington for prestige and stability. Pro potential is also one that is dropping, as well as championship contender. A lot of guys that we have on this team, their deal breakers are championship contender and pro potential. We've got to start building. With all those changes, let's get our final home game of the opening stretch underway. And I sure am glad we filled out the stadium today, packed for the rivalry, as we are off. USC has this rivalry well in hand, especially with a 3-game winning streak. It's a new era here in Stanford football, though, under Coach Barrington. I would love to start to climb up that ladder as well. We've got to make a tackle here eventually. Ramos drags O'Neal down. Now, we already talked a lot about changes on the offense. Defensively, we're not changing much as we bite hard on that play fake, and they will find the deep shot to Moss. He's their leading receiver. And really, we just have to rely on our defense to finally catch their groove. They started the year hot. Need to get back to it, need to start making some plays yet again, as we got to shed some blocks. O'Neal with another nice run. And they're definitely going to make it hard on our front 7 to try to guess whether they are going to be passing or running. They keep finding strike after strike. If we are to come away with a win in this one, it's going to have to be strictly a shootout. USC's offense far better prepared, at least in terms of talent and development, than we are. We're relying a lot on freshmen and sophomores who do get the stop first and goal. On second and goal, O'Neal denied at the inch line, and in fact, he's a little bit shaken up on the play. We'll let him make his way to the sideline. Third and goal, inches shy, down the middle, and what a lane to cut through. USC rounds out their first drive with a rushing touchdown. He had a good push on that left-hand side, but Joyner puts him up 7. But now's time to debut the new look offense with true freshman Lloyd at quarterback. And it's starting off with a read option and getting dragged down. It's a loss of 2. Looked like he was wanting to flip it out to Bartow, just couldn't get out in time. 2nd and 12. Hard count, gets someone to jump on that left-hand side, rolls, though throwing, and he finds Bachmeier, who's going to get down without taking a hit. And we can go ahead and decline the penalty with the nice gain on first. Going back down Irvin and gain of 2. Really nothing flashy, but it gets us back to net 0 for the rushing yards. 2nd and 8. And going back to Irvin, who's kind of finding a little lane there. Perhaps maybe a little bit too much pinball-y, but it works out. 3rd and inches. Pistol ace set as it's back to Irvin, and he will get the first down. We don't need to hit big every play. We're just looking for something steady. 1st and 10. There's immediate rush around the edge, but the speed on display here of Lloyd. He'll get around the edge and pick up 5. Obviously, though, want to keep him safe first and foremost. As Lloyd will take it again here. He takes the contact, but he picks up the first. And that's a little bit of the new addition there with a read option RPO. As it's just pure RPO here, swinging it out. And Borden tried to cut back. That juke a little slow. I think that might be one of the biggest differences between our athleticism versus USC's. They could hit things a little bit quicker than us. Flipping this one out, it's Bartow with that power and speed. He'll get the first. And we are definitely taking our time. Offense moving well here. As we roll to the right-hand side, and a lofted pass. Borden couldn't find it. Do like the patience, though, on the throw from Lloyd. Now a bunch to the left-hand side here for 2nd and 10. As they'll look for a quick throw, a diving pick for USC. Tried to find Bachmeier. Just too many of these promising drives ending in turnovers. Especially as we were already down 7-0. USC starting at the 21. At least they got to drive the length of the field. Trying to set up the screen. Blocking does well, but a good tackle in open field. For Trojan fans, it is promising. O'Neal back out there, was shaken up in that first drive. He heads off the field here for 2nd and 4. The split backfield, and there's Tafiti. We missed him in a massive way. Last game really did not show up versus Washington State. A chance to get off the field here, though it'll come at the end of the first quarter. USC currently on top, 7-0. A spread empty look here for 3rd and 9, though, as it's a pass across the middle. Freshman, true freshman, Poe tips it away. Great stand there from the defense. So we'll get the ball back over to our offense, starting at the 30. As it's an RPO read option. Look at the juke there from Lloyd, who will then scamper up out of bounds. Offense now very much focused around a little bit of some misdirection. As it looks like Lloyd making a change here. He's going to send the tight end to the right-hand side, which will flip the strong side of the defense as well. As they go down the middle, Irvin pushing forward for a gain of 6. This will also open up a little bit more playing time for several different running backs. We will see some 3 running back sets. Irvin now under pressure, getting dropped. Great pursuit there from, I believe that was one of their defensive backs. Brings up a 3rd and 9. Hard count again, we get some movement. But across the middle, we got another soft little gap. We'll get the catch. We can decline the penalty. Already Lloyd showing the capability of commanding with his voice. As we're at the 33, we go 2 to the right-hand side. A little bit of some play action. Trying to let things develop as he goes to the flat and gets the catch. It's Bartow. Looking to change the focus of who is getting all these looks as well. As Bachmeier lit up. He tried to get the RPO bubble out there. Just wasn't a good block to seal the edge. Making a change, though. Hot route perhaps here, Lloyd. 3rd and 6. They will look to pass, or he'll just look to step up and run. Sliding down back inside the red zone. Again, this team is moving. Simply just coming down to finishing drives. As they hand it off, Irvin down the middle will pick up 2. That's been the whole problem for him this year, to simply have to finish the drives. Irvin, gain of 1. They're going to need a little bit more than that with a 3rd and 7. 2 to the left-hand side. And again, getting the jump, but they don't throw the flag. It's going to be an incomplete pass. Should have been a free down that time we could have used. Instead, Chicolo, the freshman kicker, having to come out here. He's turned his season around as he makes 3 straight. We at least get on the board, but still feeling like we left some points out there, as it's a slow developing run play that should not have gone for a gain of 8. Peterson ends up slipping a couple tackles, making us look a little silly in the run game as they go to 0 this time. He had the touchdown. USC kind of playing similar to our offense, just spreading the ball around as they do great holding up the blitz. Ramos, he tips it away, bringing up 2nd and 10. They go spread empty then. Looking for a play to the outside, and they will find him, but shy of the first. With a quick break for the 2-minute. Have they come up with a good plan here? They stay spread empty. Looking for a pass, and Ramos just lost track of where the receiver was. USC on 3rd and inches. Instead, they find another 7 points. Zachariah Branch showing off the wheels. He gives USC a little bit of cushion here before halftime. 1:55, first 2-minute drive here for Lloyd. What does he have in store for us? As rolling across, not much opens up. He will just gain 8 and get out. I think that's what we've got to expect with Lloyd. If he doesn't see an early option to throw, well, he's just going to tuck and run. Or how about get a little bit of space to the side as Johnson with the catch. He's starting to turn things on a little bit. Coming into the year, there wasn't a lot of speculation around what he could do receiving-wise for the team. But he's starting to prove that he can do a little something with his hands. Speaking of hands, Bachmeier down the field, trailing. And the offense, again, showing we can move the ball. Just got to finish off some drives here. Irvin stuffed. That'll definitely take a hit to the momentum. Now coming out with Bartow as well. As we look to flip it out to him, Lloyd going to act a little bit as a blocker there. It's just a gain of 1. You can tell the team really has only been practicing that for about a week. 3rd and 8. Another hard count. This time no one jumps. And rolling. Looking to dump this one off the hands of Bartow. Again, the quest to just finish these drives seems to be coming back here. Chicolo. He's got the power and the accuracy. He must have been hitting the field hard the last few weeks. 4 straight. And that does leave the Trojans with still some more time. 47 seconds and 3 timeouts. They start with a spread empty look, and Ramos gets the pick. We take over, making up for the touchdown on the previous drive. He really is just the definition of a boom or bust corner. It's a boom there for us as the offense can start at the 27. Starting with a little bit, some RPO again, Borden to the outside, and he will get the first down out at the 15. We've had 3 opportunities inside the red zone. One of these, eventually, we got to come up with. As Lloyd, he gets to the outside, and he could have flipped it late. Instead, he won't. End up settling for the gain of 6, leaving 2nd and 4. Now looking for a pass to the outside, and minimal, if any, gain. Timeout called there. Facing another 3rd and 7 here in the red zone. As there's a little window. Borden dropped it. This time, the offense stays on out. Risky move here in the rivalry. And indeed, they are going for it. Rolling, trying to get Lloyd speed to the outside as he had a receiver breaking open. It's a turnover on downs. They could have settled for a field goal eaten into this deficit. But it still would have been a touchdown game at that point. Barrington tried to be aggressive following the turnover that gifted him the drive. And USC will run it to half. But once again, we are playing a game we can win. USC only up by 1 score. They've given it to a variety of players as well. But we've got to finish drives. 3, 4 of them inside the red zone now. We haven't been able to polish it off. They had one good drive, and then they got lucky on the deep shot that Ramos just lost track of the ball. That is the only difference in this game. As the offense begins with possession, perhaps we should have just went with that field goal. It's easier to say things after it's already happened. Irving with a nice run. We'll pick up 9. Just got to keep the rock moving. 2nd and 1. Go 2 spread either side. As it's another RPO, swinging it out to Borden. He's been the main target, I feel like, today. It's a little bit shocking considering Coach Barrington, after the last game, said that they were going to focus a little bit more on Bachmeier and Noah Short. Keeping it here, flipping it out, and Bartow's got to get on the outside on those. It's just leaving us with way too much of a loss. Lots of 6. Brings up 2nd and 16, a hard count. They do not jump. But there's a little lane, and finding it a good throw, sprinting down the sideline to around the 35. It was a small throwing lane, but the arm strength good enough for the true freshman. 1st and 10 now, with a little bit of some play action. Swinging this one out. That's going to be Bartow, who trucks through the corner. Another 1st down. He's not known for his hands, but we're trying to get him involved. Get as many playmakers out on this field as possible. As once again, they're going to go his way. Let him gain some momentum to try to truck some more players. Honestly, whatever gets us moving down the field as we're approaching the red zone. Go with a spread look here. And looking for a dump off. It gets picked. Lloyd, 2 picks on debut, and Bachmeier couldn't get the pick. Now it's looking like, can we tackle this dude? He went Terminator mode on us. What a play from number 25 of USC. Marcellus Williams, another freshman. Not sure if he's a redshirt or not. Just an all-around great play. Now we're in a bad spot. Thrown to the outside and throwing it away. Perhaps that's something we should learn to do as well. 2nd and 10. We bring the blitz and we eat it up. Cooper around the edge gets the tackle. Now a spread empty look here. 2 to the left, 3 to the right. Back up the coverage, though it's a shot across the middle. Linebackers we could use a little bit more from as they pull ahead now 2 scores. Most of their points, though, have just come off our own turnovers. We clean that up, we can find our way back into this one, and we need some touchdowns. We've gotten close a few times, haven't put it in the end zone yet. A throwaway there from Lloyd. Perhaps he is learning a little bit. Coming out with a pistol strong. Making a change, Lloyd. And they'll go with another play action. Rolling. And we'll get rid of it before the sack. Just got to get more people open. That's been the problem on these throws. Not quite getting anyone open. Rolling to the outside, and there's a good play. Bachmeier should have stayed on his feet. But we'll take the 1st down. Not going to nitpick it too much. Big play there from the true freshman Lloyd. Keeping it alive long enough. And now rolling back towards the middle. He finds a little bit of some running space to slide down. Gain of 8. Don't want him trying to do too much hero ball, but we need the 1st down. 2nd and 2. As they go with a handoff, give the quarterback a little bit of a breather. Irvin picks up the 1st. Probably should look to go for 2. We do get in the end zone, but focus on getting in the end zone first. Bartow with a nice carry. We'll pick up 5. For the most part, I'd say so far, the new look offensive line doing well in the running game. Passing game a little bit hit or miss. As that was just a great block shot to slow down that play. We'll end up forcing a 3rd and 2. We got, again, 2 running backs in the backfield. Lloyd keeps it, and we'll just straight up keep it. Gets a good block downfield, and there goes the true freshman splatting down for his 1st career touchdown. It's the read option, triple option that gets us in the end zone. Finally. But as mentioned, we need to go for 2. So spreading 2 wide either side. Lloyd, hard count, no one jumps. As he rolls, trying to buy time. Here comes the incoming defender, but too much speed. Lloyd will make it an 8-point play. 21-14, we're a touchdown behind. Now we just need the defense to also come ready to play. As it's a handoff, O'Neal, stop, gain of 3. We'll give the Trojans credit, though. They run a good style offense here. As back to O'Neal, Parker takes him out. Perhaps we are building a little bit of some momentum, but it's these 3rd downs where we've struggled. Spread empty. As they go trips to the right-hand side, they will let the 4th quarter arrive. It's 21-14. It has not been a shootout like we expected, and we want to make sure we keep it that way. 3rd and 9. They stick with their spread empty look, and a pass downfield is caught by O'Neal. We ran a nice little split-style defense there. We had half the field on zone, the other half in man. And they pick apart the zone. They get by midfield as well. looking for another run. Just really good blocking until Camp chops out at the knees. We've got to make sure we get some pressure this half, or this quarter even. Tafiti too slow off the edge. Quick throw, first down. I just know they're trying to bait us to play underneath and then go for the pop shot. Though the RPO bubble screen actually worked pretty well for them. This is where it'd be great if we could run a little bit better man coverage here. Match athleticism, but not quite the case so far. As it's going to be a pass here, they motion out the running back. Shot downfield, and it's a touchdown. They go back up by 2. Great hands there from Moss. He leads them in touchdown catches for a reason this year. 28-14, our offense, we've got to answer back quickly. As we end up rolling to the right-hand side here. Finding a nice little throw there to Johnson. Those are some of the same type of throws that we tried with Daniels, and somehow they always ended up picked off. Lloyd showing off a little bit more than just his arm, as we're lucky they don't count that as a backwards pass. Expect a little bit better blocking, though, from our 89 overall left tackle. He just doesn't quite seem to understand his own ratings. As Lloyd, he goes to scramble. He's going to pick up the first down in the process. Hurry up from probably here on out, as he's also making a couple hot routes along the way, getting everyone set. And lofting this one out is Borden, but he doesn't keep the feet in bounds. That's half, if not more, the process of a catch. Got to keep the feet in bounds. It was a good spot there from Lloyd. Now 2 go to the right-hand side as he looks to find a little seam down the middle. Another diving play from the USC defense. Just got to be glad this time it wasn't a pick. 3rd and 10, 4-down territory for sure. Lloyd with a hard count, no one jumps. And the hit takes off all of the pass. Now still needing 10 yards, 4th down. Slight change up, and again we get someone to jump on that right-hand side. We'll make things easier here for us for a 4th down. I also love that he's faking the injury after getting called on the penalty. Another hard count. This time we don't get as lucky. On the draw, it gets picked off. We'll count it as an arm punt. Tried to squeeze it into short. It's putting us in a bad spot here. You know, the true freshman has made some great plays today. He's also made a couple bad decisions, and those have been just as costly as the good plays have been good for us. Pass to the sideline, gain of 4. USC's also pretty much taken out the blitzing packages for us. It's the quick throw game, too good here, so we got to get things done in a typical fashion. Good tackle there from Wright. That'll end up bringing up a 3rd and 1. As they motion out the running back. Quick throw the other way, and somehow Wright couldn't guard him. With a quick throw like that, had positioning on the inside, you can't give it up. That's just simple fact. Stretch to the outside now, and Ramos takes a bad angle. Tafiti trying to get back there. Wright has to come from across the field. And USC down inside the 10. It's goal to go at the 8. They just started to put things on a little too much here in the 4th. Read option ran to perfection. He could trot in, honestly, he probably could have walked in. If this was the NFL, lay down on the ground and roll in. Just too bad that this game has started to get away from the Cardinal, because they really put in a good one for about 3 quarters. We'll see what Lloyd can do to finish out the game, as he's got a receiver open, but again takes a hit. Talked a couple drives ago about how the offensive line has been a little bit hit or miss on their pass blocking. It's been a little bit more miss lately, as there's just no time to get these passes out. Looks like Lloyd gonna make a change though. He already knows the offense. That's at least a good part of letting him sit through the first couple weeks. But now he's just getting lit up. We got a 4th and 12 here. Might be our last play of the game, especially if this offensive line continues to give up on plays. Put this one out for Bachmeier, who gets tipped away. That's a turnover on downs. Unfortunately, USC player injured on the play. USC would end up picking up the dub, and they tacked on a late game field goal as well. 38-14. It's not a good scoreline, but again, for most of the game, it was close. The offense was moving better. It had a true feel to it, something the offense really hasn't had. We made a few more plays on defense, didn't have as many turnovers on offense. We could have gave USC a good run. But for now, they extend their streak to 4. But I do think, despite the 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, that we found our quarterback for this season. Chad Lloyd will continue to start. He just provides the offense, honestly, some escapability. Something I think we have to have with the offensive line. The way it works here in college football 25, I don't know if you have to have a 99 overall offensive line to just have some decent blocking, but it's going to open things up for us. It's going to open up a little bit more running as well. I mean, Lloyd went over 100 rushing yards in this game. Again, I know the passing wasn't always the best, but he went over 300 total yards, something we don't typically have with our offense. Bartow and Irvin, they're both going to get a good amount of carries. Hopefully we get a little bit more yards per average with the two. And Borden, for some reason, was getting all the targets. So we might mess around a little bit then with the receiver depth chart, because I do want it to be either Bachmeier or Short, who honestly, I don't even know if he had a single snap out there. It was a lot of 2 tight ends, 2 receiver sets. So we might again mess with that going into next time, because he just has a little bit more athleticism that'll help out with those screen passes, the bubbles, and everything. Borden doesn't quite fit that. Defensively, we've got to find a way to get back into the backfield. I think this is now 2 to 3 straight games where we haven't had a sack, so we really need to get those. Ramos is doing what he can to force some turnovers. Wright had a dropped, and honestly, he probably had 2 to 3 interception opportunities that he just didn't do. Some of our highest overall players don't seem to act like it. Meanwhile, some of our lower overall players are. But we do have some good news. We get our first recruit in Sam Laveau? I'm going to have to double check that pronunciation because he is headed to Stanford. Outside of him, it is a tight race for most of these guys. And honestly, for Rosa, Nevada just came up out of nowhere. Looks like he just went on a visit with them and he really liked it. So we might need to start pushing a little bit harder for a guy like Rosa, as we haven't even put him on our hard sell yet, but we need to get him on a hard sell. Now, he does like playing time, and we already know the other two, so we will tack that on for him. And honestly, I would schedule a visit, but with how close he is, I don't want to put too much into him unless we could really make a comeback after this next week. So I'm going to hold off on a visit for him. But with the 185 points we do have, I do want to start getting some of these guys in. Jamie Stockton is very close to committing by himself, so I'm going to save some points by not doing that. USC is coming in here for one of the tight ends we've been going after, so we might need to boost that from a soft sell up to a hard sell. And for him, we're looking at Conference Spotlight. Again, it's not the best. There's that D in there. But on top of that, we do also have him scheduled to come for week 13. So that is good. As for the other receiver, again, we are very close. I'm honestly surprised he didn't commit this week, probably because we lost. You watched the game. Now, we do have UW coming in here for Benedict. Now, we already have a lot of points in on him. Let's go ahead and just add the extra 25, fill out the 65 we have, because I don't want to lose out on offensive line talent. And unfortunately, something it didn't notify me of, we have been locked out here for Lee Church. We've been going after him for a while, and unless we could get the playing style for DTs up in the next game, I don't know how we get back into this battle, as Jack State has been pursuing him hard. So we might need to look for other options for the defensive line, though we are pretty young at that spot. It's not a necessity. But another outside linebacker is a good candidate for a recruit visit, as we do have some competition coming in. Again, we can't do these until later on in the season, as we are going on a 5-game streak. Tradition program, good there, of away games. So yeah, definitely want to make sure we're getting these guys. And I don't know if scheduling the visit helps us out at all. Arizona coming in, and that's actually our next game. So for Kevin Sabree, let's take off the 5 points here and let's add 10 just to try to give us a little bit of an edge. And just in case it does help, just scheduling it, we will schedule him for later. Doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to land him, and our best pitch here will be for proximity to home. It's only a B+. As for Rosa, talked about him earlier. Again, we are down in points, so let's tack on the 10 to fill out the total 50 we could do. And again, I'm not sold if I really want to toss in any more points for a visit, because Nevada is so far ahead. So let's see if we could regain some ground on him first. And then the other options, we're well ahead of everyone. So let's save those 50 and let's maybe look for a player that no one's going after. Now, we did just have one of our tackles, I believe last week, declare elsewhere. So how about let's add a new guy here out of West Virginia and Grant Nestrowitz, probably better pronunciation there. 58 overall, so I think that should be a good player to add. We'll jump down to tackle then. We will give him a scholarship, and we'll have enough points to give him a full send the house. Still leaves us with 40 more points. And where we could use some of those here is on a tight end. We just have him being DM'd right now. He's about to hit his top 3, so let's try to just polish this one off. And that'll be for the very last option in Workhorse. It's not a great pitch for us, a B, B+, and a D+, but still, we'll utilize it. Now we have 10 more points. Where do we put it? Well, it is a tight race here for Marvin Addison. So let's go ahead and tack on the 10 to him, just so we stay, or at least try to stay, well ahead of Utah. But that is where we will round things out. We're about to go on to a 5-game streak, all away games. Hopefully we play better away than we do at home, because we are 1-4 right now. We haven't won a conference game. We're about to face a conference opponent who is 1-0, so I would like to climb out of the bottom here of the Pac-12 before we find ourselves heading to the Mountain West next season. Make sure you stick around to see how well our freshman does to round out this season by hitting that bell icon in the bottom right or scrolling down, hitting the sub button. Definitely tap that bell icon to be notified of when these videos go live. This series every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Madden 25 state-only challenges every Tuesday and Thursday. We'll see you on both of those as next time we go on the road for a long time.